The potential for violence has realtors across the country taking up arms.
The capital murder and kidnapping of realtor Beverly Carter.
High-profile cases motivate some to carry a gun on the job, but not every state makes it easy.
My name is Scott Smith, and I do commercial real estate.
Smith works as a realtor in Baltimore. He's in and out of properties every day, never knowing what he could encounter.
How do you protect yourself?
I have a concealed carry permit.
Smith says he's never used the gun he legally carries on the job, but he trains regularly, so he's prepared. There have been some close calls for him and other realtors he knows.
I was completely taken off guard. There was a person hiding in the house and had no clue they were there. That was obviously pretty scary. There are a bunch of realtor friends that I know that have been assaulted, robbed, just in the day-to-day going to work.
Real estate, by its very nature, has some risk. A 2018 report from the National Association of Realtors showed 33% of those surveyed experienced a situation that made them fear for their safety. 5% reported being a victim of crime.
We many times meet people in places that could put ourselves in peril.
The National Association of Realtors has been pushing a focus on education and training to protect and prepare agents across the country.
You know, when it comes to safety, you can never do enough.
The survey shows some are taking matters into their own hands. It found one of the most popular forms of self-protection for realtors was a gun, with 1 in 6 agents admitting they carry.
How real would you say the threats against realtors really are?
Very real.
Serious cases have been very rare, but significant.
This is the crime scene, the model home.
In December, a Maryland man working alone at a model home was murdered in what police called an apparent robbery attempt.
And then a suspect pulled out a gun.
A realtor was gunned down last month in Utah while evicting a tenant.
They targeted her because she was a realtor.
But nothing is more chilling than the abduction and killing of an Arkansas agent whose case made national news.
Your brain just can't process the fact that your loved one was kidnapped and duct taped and put in the trunk of a car and later murdered. My brain anyway can't get around that.
Beverly Carter's story sounds like a made-for-TV movie with the disturbing details come to life. In 2014, the vivacious blonde whose smile radiated from her publicity photo was kidnapped by a couple that deliberately targeted the 50-year-old agent.
Why Beverly? Why Beverly?
She was a rich broker.
Carter had spoken at length with the people who eventually took her life. She told coworkers and her husband she'd be taking the couple to this country home and even locked her purse inside the car before she went in. Then hours went by.
My dad finally called me around 8:30, and I could hear his worry in his voice. My dad said, "Hey, I don't understand what's going on. Your mom's car is here, but there's no one here."
There was a heartbreaking phone call, a $100,000 ransom demand, and an agonizing 5 days of searches. Beverly's body was then found in a shallow grave. The realtor name tag she was wearing snapped in half.
She was precious. She was hardworking. She was not a reckless salesperson driven by greed. She was attempting to serve clients.
Now Carter's son Carl is serving realtors through a foundation in his mother's name, teaching them smart safety strategies. Carrying a gun, he says, just isn't enough.
I believe this wholeheartedly. A gun would not have saved my mother's life that day. There were a number of business decisions along the way that led her to that vacant room on the second story of a home where she turned from taking a photograph and she was met with a taser in her side. There was no time to turn and grab a gun like this is the Wild Wild West.
But for those who choose to carry, they may find challenges depending on where they live. Although many states will issue concealed carry permits, the National Rifle Association told us 8 states can and do put severe restrictions on those who legally want to carry. In many cases, the gun can't be just for personal protection.
Our state does not make it easy to protect yourself. As a realtor, you can apply to get a concealed carry permit. It'll be restricted as to while you're doing business as a realtor. Carrying cash deposits, doing business transactions.
Carrying isn't for every agent, but education, training, and proactive steps need to be.
I miss my mom's laugh. I miss being able to kiss her cheek every time we greeted and when we'd say goodbye. I miss everything about her every single day. I think my mom would be, I think she'd be very proud of what we're doing. And she'd be very, very proud.